Hi, let's talk about Maldives today. Over the last 2 weeks, we have surely seen all the news items and headlines being hogged by first what the ministers of Maldives said, and then the reactions of the Indian public at large to those statements. We have also seen Ease My Trip cancel its bookings and drop Maldives from its platforms altogether. And also, we have seen the cancellations which Indian tourists have done. Now, whether Indian tourists going to Maldives will have any effect on its economy or not is a separate matter. And what are the political consequences of the same is also another matter. What I wanted to look at is how Maldives and its government is acting in such a short sighted manner and how it can affect Maldives in the longer run. Okay, before we start, if you really want to know more about the entire Maldives saga, look at this video here. Put it up in my description. It is one of the best videos on the entire topic. Uh, it is, of course, pro India, and I do believe we have done enough for Maldives over a very long period of time and deserve not to be treated like this. Now, coming back to Maldives and what's gonna happen to it in the long run. As we all know, Maldives is probably one of the lowest lying countries in the world, with the average height above the sea meter at only 1.5 meters. Maldives over the years has lost a lot of its natural water resources, drinking water resources, freshwater resources to salination and flooding of the same. Uh, it has also over the last few years has been acutely prone to tsunamis, floods, and it has been losing its islands to erosion at a very rapid pace. Even a US and NASA study tells us that Maldives may not remain inhabitable for a very long time. Now, will they become the very first climate refugees is the question. And if they do, what are the options is the second question. What happens if Maldives and its citizens becomes one of the very first climate refugees in the world? Now, Maldives, we would like to believe, remains a democracy, and the people there are fairly well off in terms of their per capita income. So, what are the options if they become climate refugees? Where can they go and restart their lives? The options which appear to my mind are as follows. The most probable location where they will all want to move is the UAE and the GCC countries. Why? First, because of linguistic, cultural, and religious ideologies being very similar to each other. And second, because they are also one place which are economically better off than Maldives is. Where GCC countries are different than Maldives is that they are not really democracies, they are autocracies run by a single ruler and iron fist. So, obviously, being an autocracy, the freedom there in terms of what one can do, what one cannot do, is limited. The second option which they can consider is probably Europe. But Maldives remains a very conservative country with very conservative beliefs. And Europe, with its very open culture in terms of women expressing their freedom and their sexuality, may not fit in well with the Maldivian population. They have to really change their thinking to adjust in there. Same remains the case with majority of Canada, US, and Australian populations. Uh, the culture there, the culture shock there rather, which they will get, the Maldivians, will be huge. At the same time, I'm not very sure about how open these countries will be in terms of refugees. their past histories in terms of Ukraine refugees and refugees from African countries has not been too great. The third option, which one may think of, and which I believe the present Maldivian government is also appearing to side with, is China. China, however, is known for its oppression of ethnic minorities, including Muslims. There is enough and more on the internet about what is happening with them there. So I believe it's not a good option. Other neighboring countries like Indonesia, Bali, and all are too small, and I don't believe they will be willing to accept these many refugees in one go. As far as their political ideologies go, India is and remains the largest and most vibrant democracy in the country, in the world rather. And India has long demonstrated that it is willing to accept tourists and assimilate them in its fold over a longer period of time. And we have demonstrated it multiple times and in many occasions and in many forms. We also have a very, very sizable Muslim population. Roughly 20% of our population today is Muslim, and we welcome them with our open arms. But the point remains, will the Maldivian government, with its anti India stand, be open to even considering such a move? I have my doubts. So Maldives, the way I see this is, has shut down its most viable option in terms of relocation in case they become climate refugees. If they move to UAE and GCC countries, yes, they will be accepted there, is what I believe, but their autocracies will surely restrict Maldivian population in terms of how they feel, how they function. The freedoms will be limited. Rest of the options, Pakistan, Afghanistan, are simply not there, which are Muslim majority countries, but they're too economically fragile for even considering a move. China remains a closed option, so does Russia, simply because of cultural differences. So that is my take on Maldives. So in conclusion, what did Maldives get wrong? It got wrong three things. In the very short run, it lost a lot of tourists. In the medium term, this will recover, but in the medium term, in case there is some exigency, it has lost a very good friend and helper. And in the long run, Maldives becomes the first country of climate refugees. It has shut down one option which was not only viable but which would have been a great option for them. So these are the three things which it got wrong. According to me, it should work on solving all this and repairing the relationship with India. It cannot depend on China for the long run. Gulf countries is one which it can depend on, GCC countries, but again, they're autocracies, they're not democracies. So they will be under someone's rule and not in a democracy at that time. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I would request you to do so. I will speak about current affairs, and I will also speak a lot about businesses, stock markets, and so on and so forth. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.